We have a very special guest for you here on the show today. And when I say guest, I mean plural guests. Because Mike Johnson and Craig Button are joining me for their annual visit to preview the upcoming NHL season. Guys, how are you?
I only show up if Craig comes. My bodyguard.
I know. That's the only way we can get you.
Yeah, well, we're happy to be here, but annuals, we should do this more often.
Well, it's all up to you. Got to bring Mike more.
Okay, I'm happy to do that.
Put it all on me.
Yeah.
I mean, Mike actually lives in the city, whereas you live across the country. So maybe that you deserve a little more leeway, perhaps.
Yeah, I'm just saying we find a way to come in here a little more often and spend some time with you.
We'll work on it.
Yeah.
Let's get the
and
Bell
just so
corporate jet fired up.
Last day without socks.
Last day without socks, everybody.
I know there's some that are for it and some that are against it, but just so you know, my last day without socks.
Mike, how do you feel?
You is that you don't care what anyone's for. You just do what you want. We respect that.
2 years, $12.5 million on the AAV for Connor McDavid. Greatest bargain in NHL history, Mike Johnson.
There's only one other one I could think of that came close. When Paul Correa, who was still a great player, went to Colorado for $1 million.
Right.
And he probably could have got $9 million somewhere else. But that was very specific to go with Team with Solani and chase a cup. But as far as since 04 salary cap era, miles and away, the greatest hometown discount anyone has ever offered up. Sidney Crosby's been underpaid for a long time. But we're talking about what Kaprizov just signed, what the value of superstars is. He left easily if he wanted to, and I'm happy he didn't want it. I'm happy he's happy. He did what he chose to do, but he would have been, $19 or $20 million comfortably. So the fact that he gave Edmonton that much money, Craig, to go build a team, to win a cup, to try to do the one thing he's never done, you respect, but you also have to acknowledge that is a massive favor to Edmonton.
Yeah, massive favor, and also a massive responsibility to the Edmonton Oilers management now. Because what Connor McDavid has signified is his words are greater than his actions are greater than his words. He said that I'm here to win. I want to try to win again and again and again. So now for the management of the Edmonton Oilers, you now know that anything short of giving him the best opportunity, however that looks, whether it be goaltending, whether it be a little bit more scoring, solidifying the defense, the depth, wherever it may be, that's your mandate. And you cannot discount how Connor McDavid has put management's feet to the fire.
And you could say, well, he only signed 2 years, so is he getting ready to leave in 2 years if it doesn't work? It doesn't matter. You got him for 2 more years.
Yeah.
You're going to have him for what, 13 years when it's all said and done, minimum?
Yep.
So today's not the day to worry about what happens in 2 years or in 3 years now. The fact is you have him for 3 more seasons at the most affordable number you could even imagine. And the best part is to try to imagine the negotiation. Whereas agent Judd Moldaver calls up Stan Bowman and says, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're doing 2 for $12.5. And they would say, excuse me? We'll turn that around in 30 seconds and get that signed. It was an incredible offer of really generosity.
It's like Kramer getting the coffee deal, right?
I'll take it.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Well, I mean, I don't know if anybody saw the video. Do you want to know? I'll reenact the video in the offices of Stan Bowman.
and we're gone.
Craig doing the gritty here.
There we go.
Wait, but you touched on something, Mike, that I want to mention here. It is a 3-year window now, this year and then the extra 2. If the Oilers don't win at that point, would you have to expect that McDavid would be out the door at that point?
I guess it would depend on what the team looks like. If he sees the team still being his best chance to win or really competitive, and to be honest, with him and Draisaitl around, they're going to be competitive and they're going to spend to the cap and everything else, then it's not a foregone conclusion. But if he doesn't like how they look, he will be able to walk away from Edmonton and be feted on his way to the airport. There's no one who could ever say a bad word, that he did not give them everything he possibly could.
Yep.
So he's given himself the luxury of knowing he can walk away with a clean conscience and the fan support if that matters to him. But I don't think it's a guarantee because he wants to win, so he's going to keep going to a place or stay in a place where he can win.
So, Mike, I'm going to ask you this. Is there anything longer than a 3-year window? I think a 3-year window is what good contending teams fall into.
Right.
Well, I mean, at this point, it'll be like a 6-year window for them because they've been really good the last several seasons. So they've had a long run of excellence. Yeah, they've lost twice in the final. Okay, they're losing to maybe one of the greatest teams we've seen in the last 40 years. Yep. So there's no shame in that. If they can find a way to get over the hump, then it will all have been worthwhile and it all would make sense and everyone will. He probably stays forever if they happen to win a cup there. So 3 years is a long time. Yeah. A lot can happen, But Edmonton is going to be well positioned now for the next few.
And they've signed Jake Wallman, the defenseman, who they acquired last year at the deadline, to a 7-year, $49 million extension. So that's another piece of business that Stan Bowman got done on Monday. My question for you guys is, now looking at this roster and understanding the money savings that McDavid has provided Stan Bowman, what does Stan Bowman need to do right now to make this team even more competitive?
So the money savings, and Mike touched on this earlier when we were talking about it, is that Jake Wallman's $7 million was what Connor McDavid could have had.
You get an extra Jake Wallman.
Yeah.
Right,
thanks.
Right.
So that's one big step there where Connor says, okay, this is what we can do. They have Savoy, they have Ike Howard, who they're hoping can come in and provide a little bit more offense. They're unknowns. They've tried to add some free agents from Europe to try to add some depth into the blue line. There's still some uncertainty there. And I have no problem with what they're doing at this juncture in time. But when the time comes and you got to look at where you can strengthen your team or where you got to make additions that can really give your team like a real boost, that's where Stan has to be able to be bold. And we're going to have to wait to see how those guys do. But that team is still very much a work in progress. And I think that obviously with Draisaitl and McDavid, they're phenomenal. They are. And Zach Hyman will return, Bouchard. This is a really top team.
They've been trying all summer to maybe change their goaltending.
Right.
So let's not act like they're totally satisfied with their goaltending. Can be good at times, but probably we're looking for an upgrade there. It's hard to find in the NHL. And they need to go along with the goaltending, more middle six scoring.
Right.
You can't just put Draisaitl and McDavid and say, oh my God, together they're incredible. Apart, they're really pretty good. And that's all we need. You need more than that. So probably wingers and a goaltender. Right now, in the sort of immediate next few months, that's what they'll be looking for. And if they get that, then they'll head into the playoffs as one of the most favorite 4 teams. One of the top 4 favorite teams to win a cup, and that's all anyone can really hope for.
And they went through this last year, and they were hopeful that Arvidsson and Skinner could provide that. And despite them not being able to do it to the level that they were expected to maybe hope that they could do it, they still went to Game 6 of the Stanley Cup final.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. It's been a good team the last couple of years. It's going to be amazing to see how it all comes together this year. Guys, would you mind sticking around? I want to get your Stanley Cup predictions coming up. Maybe talk about some other Canadian NHL teams. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm in. I'm sitting here. I don't see any reason to get up
if
now.
If he leaves, I leave. If he stays, I stay.
Perfect. They're staying.